What's up, Warriors fans, and welcome back to Warriors Latest. As always, I am your host, Max Arizin. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you enjoy the show today, as I do post new Warriors videos daily, and it does help the channel continue to grow as the season moves along. Now, after that just bad Kings loss the other day, where Russ had his triple-double, Schroeder, he did well to be clutch at the end of the game, but in the beginning, the second unit looked pretty good, and they looked like they were able to handle business through at least the majority of the first half before really starting to collapse down the stretch in the second half. But against a better team like the Nuggets, I'm curious how this is going to play out, because right now, again, the Warriors are likely going to be without their big three. Steph is officially listed as out, and both Draymond and Jimmy are listed as game time decisions. Now, thinking about that, it's going to allow more of the bench to play more minutes, but I'm really worried about how they're going to react. Yes, the Kings are a less experienced team. They do have a lot of older guys versus the Nuggets, with like Russ, with like Zach LaVine, with the likes of DeMar DeRozan, Precious Chinwa, even Domantas Sabonis, even though Sabonis didn't play. And you know what? That didn't really factor an issue. But when we're going up against the Nuggets, that's going to be a problem. This is a championship caliber team. And when you're going up against an actual championship caliber team versus a more experienced team, these guys are going to know how to get it done, both against the starters as well as the bench. Now, don't get me wrong. Dubs were able to come back and beat the Nuggets earlier this season, but that was with Jimmy, Draymond, and Steph on the court. And on top of that, that was a overtime win. So there was a lot of back and forth, and I'm not sure that we're going to have the same results as we did, I believe it was, 2 weeks ago. So I am a little concerned. I mean, I look at it. They've got Joker. He's healthy. Like, looking at their all right, let me get this up. Looking at who's going in. All right, they only have Zeke Naji as their only injury listed on the injury report, and he's a game time decision. Now, looking at their numbers, Joker's been their lead scorer and their lead rebounder with 13 a game off the boards and 24 points per game. Now, I think about that, and that's not a lot of points, like, to be honest with you. That they don't have a 30-point score on there. I think that does benefit the team moving forward, because we know we have Buddy Hield, we have Moses Moody, we have Will Richard. We have guys that could score 25 to 30, and they've shown it early on this season. Like, Kuminga is still playing, and he could still be that guy and make that extra effort on the boards to grab those rebounds over the likes of Joker. They've shown that they can really just out-hustle opposing teams even when they are smaller. And I think that's going to play to the team's benefit. But not having Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy is just going to be a problem, especially considering that this is an NBA Cup game. Now, on the bright side, the one thing I really do like about this is the fact the Warriors are going to run it back with the same lineup that they used against the Kings. Now, again, that didn't exactly work out to the team's benefit, but the one thing I really, really liked about watching that lineup, especially through the first half, is how organic from 1 to 5 they felt. Like, there was a lot of synergy between all of those guys, and you could there was something about watching it. I don't know what it was, but the ball movement was perfect. The shots were on target. The shots were smart shots. Even when they missed, they were still good shots. You're not going to make every single good shot that you take, but at least you're getting those good shots off and you're taking the best shot available. And it felt like that was what was going on through the first half. Now, in the end, experience won out, as a lot, like, you had Russ, you have Schroeder. Those guys are very experienced. Russ is one of the best rebounding point guards to ever play the game. I looked at his numbers the other day. He leads the entire NBA. He's the top NBA leader for triple doubles. So you can't be mad when he pulls another triple double out of there. And that's that's experience and just overall greatness. People, like I said, people keep saying that Russ has been over the hill, and the truth is he hasn't. He's still got a number of years left. I could definitely see him playing well into his 40s as long as the situation is right for him. And right now with the Kings, the situation is perfect. Remember, people said the same thing about Rajon Rondo after he left Dallas, and then just Dallas completely imploded, and then he goes to Sacramento and completely kills it in Sacramento, then signs with the Bulls, and then that Bulls team takes over and pushes that takes a two or as an eighth seed, pushes the Celtics down 2-0 before he gets injured, and once he's injured, the entire Bulls team collapses. Westbrook is like that quarterback that just knows how to drive the offense, and I think that works well for the Kings. But that being said, I think this organic lineup that the Warriors had with, let's say it was, I believe it was Pat Spencer and Pods at the 1, Moses Moody and Will Richard at the 2, and like a combination, who was it? It was a combination of Will Richard as well and Jonathan Kuminga at the 3. And then it was like a combo of Trace Jackson Davis, Al Horford, and Quentin Post at the 4-5. So that was a good rotation. I liked that because everybody was getting it done. When Post and Horford were both in the lineup at the same time, I liked the spacing that they were offering against the Kings, as it allowed Kuminga to drive to the basket, allowed other players to get easy shots, create opportunities all around. Now, is this going to work against the likes of the Nuggets? I would think so, but I'm more curious to see how it plays out. Now, with the Nuggets, they have Aaron Gordon, they do have Joker. Those are two guys that know how to go. Well, at least Aaron Gordon knows how to guard at the perimeter. Joker, I feel. He can be maneuvered to the point where he's ineffective on defense and can be allowed to just sort of be pushed out to the perimeter, and then a quick move. Kuminga drives in, Will Richard drives in, problem is solved. But I think the ability of Horford and Post to sit out at the three-point line is going to create a lot of opportunities for the slashing wings as well as our backcourt, and just attacking the basket and getting those great shots, because the Nuggets have great players, but it's their interior defense that really shows who they are. And if you're constantly having our Joker at the perimeter, he's not going to get as many defensive rebounds as he'd normally get on a given night. So I think that's going to play well, because if the Warriors win the rebounding game, they're going to do very well against the Nuggets. But they also have to limit the turnovers, as that lineup did exceed their average turnovers, as they averaged 16 turnovers so far this year, and last game they did have 19. So it sort of remains to be seen, but I do have a good feeling that this is going to play well for the Warriors, being able to stretch or create space and allow players to drive. Now, again, this is not only going to be beneficial for the spacing, but it's going to allow some of their guys that wouldn't normally be in the rotation to get significant minutes and continue to get important experience that's going to play well through the rest of the season. Now, if you have a guy that hasn't played in weeks or even a month, and then you have to just push him in, next man up, like late in the season, it's going to be hard to get that synergy going, especially when you pretty much are trying to shake off the rust the entire time. So I do like how this is going to help the Warriors and help the team create more synergy from 1 through 15. Now, looking at it, let's see. I want to look at this roster real quick. Like, again, the guys aren't going to be there, but let me just get this up real quick. It's going to be, like, in all odds, it's going to be Moody, Pods, Will Richard, Buddy Hield, Quentin Post, Al Horford, Trace Jackson Davis, Gary Payton II, who's going to really hustle to grab those boards, along with Kuminga, Santos, and Pat Spencer. So that's pretty much going to be the lineup for tonight. And I think this experience is going to play well, because they're going to get more minutes. How do I put this? They're going to continue to extend the rotation. Nobody's going to be in the doghouse if they perform well tonight. Like, say, all right, we got Sunday's game against the Pacers. Great. You know what, against the Pacers, all right, maybe we'll give some more minutes to Pat Spencer, to Trace Jackson-Davis, to Gary Payton II. And they're going to perform, and with the little opportunity that they get, they're going to continue to get better and be an effective part of this team. But bottom line is, right now, I'm looking at the standings. All right, the West is close. Right now, I'm looking at it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams, including the Warriors, with 5 wins. And the difference between the 7th seed, where the Warriors are currently at, and the 3 seed is a single game. Now, that's good news for the Warriors. It means these injuries can be overcome as long as they are early on in the season. But as the season goes along and injuries may pile up, it's like the West is close, but it's not going to stay close. So games like tonight against the Nuggets, games like Sunday against the Pacers, that rematch from last week, these are the essential games to make sure that the team keeps the pace and stays a top team in the West. Because right now, looking back at it, there's only a game and a half difference between being out of the playoffs right now and being in the playoffs. So there's a lot to be said, and the Warriors can't let things get away from them, especially if they get bitten by the injury bug early on. So I want to see them do well tonight. I do believe that they can beat the Nuggets, and I want them to at least restart another winning streak, get this win tonight, and then get another win on Sunday versus the Pacers. Now, that's all we have today for Warriors Latest. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you enjoyed the show today. And if you have any predictions for tonight's game against the Nuggets or Sunday's game against the Pacers, feel free to comment your predictions below, as I love hearing what you think. And as always, go Dubs.